Hi, Miss McFadden's class. This is Mrs. Pachter. I'm really excited to be here, and I miss you all very much, and I look forward to our return soon. Until that time, I have a reading from It Worked for Me in Life and Leadership from Colin Powell. And as a background, few American journeys are as varied or as respected as the journey of retired Army General Colin Powell. From his beginnings as a hardworking student to his rescue of fellow soldiers from a burning helicopter in Vietnam, to his service in 5 different presidential administrations, Powell has lived his life leading by example. Many books have been written about Powell, among them one by author Warren Brown. Powell retired from public service in 2004, but continues to be vocal on political topics. Before you start diving into the story, you should definitely set a purpose, and this is a memoir, which means that he wrote it in first person. He uses the word I in the actual memoir, and so that's a good indicator that it is a memoir from the first person point of view. And before you jump in, make sure you're setting a purpose. As you read each text, pay attention to the examples that are used to portray Colin Powell's life. Write down any questions you may have, and please submit it through Canvas. So let's begin. From It Worked for Me in Life and Leadership by Colin Powell. Back when I was a teenager in the Bronx, summer was a time for both fun and work. Starting at about age 14, I worked summers and Christmas holidays at a toy and baby furniture store in the Bronx. The owner, Jay Sixer, a Russian Jewish immigrant, hired me off the street as I walked past his store. "You want to make a few bucks unloading a truck and back?" he asked me. I said yes. The job took a couple of hours and he paid me 50 cents an hour. "You're a good worker," he told me when I'd finished. "Come back tomorrow." That was the beginning of a close friendship with Jay and his family that continued through college and for the next 50 years, long after Jay had died. I worked part-time at his store a few hours a day during the summer and long hours during the Christmas season. I worked hard, a habit I got from my Jamaican immigrant parents. Every morning they left early for the garment district in Manhattan, and they came home late at night. All my relatives were hard workers. They came out of that common immigrant experience of arriving with nothing, expecting that the new life ahead of them would not be easy. Jamaicans had a joke: "That lazy brute, him only have 2 jobs." After I had worked at Sixers for a couple of years, Jay grew concerned that I was getting too close to the store and the family. One day he took me aside. "Coley," he told me with a serious look, "you should get an education and do well. You're too good to just be a schlepper." A schlepper is someone who carries things that are clumsy or difficult to move. "The store will go to the family. You don't have a future here." I never thought I did, but I always treasured him for caring enough about me to say so. When I was 18, I became eligible to get a union card, which meant I could get a full-time summer job with better pay. I continued to work at Sixers during the Christmas season. I joined the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, Local 812, the soft drink workers union. Every morning I went downtown to the union hall to stand in line to get a day's work. It was hard work, and I became an expert at tossing wooden 24-bottle Coca-Cola cases by grabbing a corner bottle without breaking it. After a few weeks, the foreman noticed my work and asked if I'd like to try driving a Coke truck. Since I was a Teamster, I had a chauffeur's license and was authorized to drive a truck. The problem was that I'd never driven a truck in my life. But hey, why not? It paid better. The next morning, I got behind the wheel of an ancient stick-shift circa 1940 truck with a supervisor riding shotgun. We carried 300 cases, half on open racks on one side of the truck and half on the other. I asked the supervisor where we were going. "Wall Street," he said. My heart skipped a beat as I imagined navigating the narrow streets and alleys of the oldest, most claustrophobic, and most maze-like part of New York City. I took off with the energy and blind optimism of youth and managed to get through the day and somehow safely delivered the 300 cases in spite of my often over-enthusiastic driving. My supervisor was white-knuckled with worry, and I would deliver 150 cases onto the street as the old truck leaned precariously at corners I was taking much too fast. Though I delivered every case, my driving skills did not impress the supervisor, and my truck driving career was over. They still kept me as a helper. Nevertheless, I proudly took home a $20 salary that day to show my father. The next summer, I wanted something better than standing in a crowd every morning hoping for a day's work. My opportunity came when the hiring boss announced one morning that the Pepsi plant on Long Island was looking for porters to clean the floors, full-time for the summer. I raised my hand. I was the only one that did. The porters at the Pepsi plant were all black. The workers on the bottling machines were all white. I didn't care. I just wanted to work for the summer, and I worked hard mopping up syrup and soda that had spilled from overturned pallets. At summer's end, the boss told me he was pleased with my work and asked if I wanted to come back. Yes, I answered, but not as a porter. He agreed. The next summer I worked on the bottling machine and as a pallet stacker, a more prestigious and higher paying job. It wasn't exactly the Selma March, but I integrated a bottling machine crew. Very often, my best didn't turn out that well. I was neither an athlete nor a student standout. I played baseball, football, stickball, and all the other Bronx sports, and I did my best, but I wasn't good at any. In school, I was hardworking and dedicated, but never produced superior grades or matched the academic successes of my high-achieving cousins. Yet my parents didn't pester me or put too much pressure on me. Their attitude was, do your best, we'll accept your best, but nothing less. These experiences established a pattern for all the years and careers that came afterward. Always do your best, no matter how difficult the job or how much you dislike it, your bosses, the work environment, or your fellow workers. As the old expression goes, if you take the king's coin, you give the king his due. I remember an old story told by comedian brother Dave Gardner about two ditch diggers. One guy just loves digging. He digs all day and says nothing much. The other guy digs a little, leans on a shovel, and mouths off constantly. One of these days, I'm going to own this company. Time passes, and guy number one gets a front-end trench machine and just digs away, hundreds of feet a day, always loving it. The other guy does the minimum, but never stops mouthing off. One of these days, I'm going to own this company. No, guy number one doesn't end up owning the company, but he does become a foreman working out of an air conditioning van. He often waves to his old friend leaning on a shovel, still insisting, one of these days, I'm going to own this company. Ain't going to happen. In my military career, I often got jobs I wasn't crazy about, or I was put in situations that stretched me beyond my rank and experience. Whether the going was rough or smooth, I always tried to do my best and to be loyal to my superior and the mission given to me. So then he's going to go on and read about his second tour in the Vietnam War, and then you'll have 3 questions at the end of this reading that you will answer, and then you can present it to Ms. McFadden or to me. Thank you so much for listening today, and Penny and I are going to sign off, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for working hard, and I'm very proud of you. Bye.